How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Get Jiggy With It. Basically, happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. It is the 250th birthday of, well, the United States of America. So hopefully you're celebrating, or if you have or finished celebrating, or if there's fireworks going off, it's safe and your animals are safe. And if you have loved ones that suffer from PTSD, especially military, they are safe as well. Of course, my Mission 22 shirt is usually what I wear on 4th of July. It's for prevention of veteran suicide. So, of course, I know fireworks can be, not the best thing for everybody. I know, especially, I got a dog and she didn't quite like them when she could hear them. Now she can't hear them, so we're a little bit better boat. But of course, salute to all the military veterans out there. My dad is a veteran of over 40 years. My brother's still serving. My brother-in-law is still serving. My sister did serve. I don't know why this hat does that. I keep noticing that every so often. Sometimes I notice it, and then other times I'm going off tangents. It's been a day. We went to a barbecue, went swimming, and then we just went out for dinner, watched some fireworks, came home, and this is where we are. So we are going to be painting some red, white, and blue heroes. It just happened to work out that way. It really did. This was not planned at all. This is not planned at all. So I had some minis I needed to finish painting. I figured I don't have a lot of time because, normally we start at 9, lose some time. And it turned out we needed a real red, white, and blue hero painted. We needed a red, white, and blue hero painted. And a red, white, and yellow? Or blue. He's probably got some yellow and stuff in there too. I've got that. I figured, I'm going to have some extra time. Here's my red, white, and blue. I'm going to have some time on my hands because doing those 3 guys might take me an hour to finish the finishing details on it. So I wanted to paint something big and realized, he's at least red and blue. I guess zombie flesh is a white color. So we're going to paint my first bigature, my first big mini. By the way, that is the color of the plastic. This is not Necromancer skin from Army Painter, which I do have that, and that's what I've used in the past. This is actually it's an off-the-shelf paint. I don't see how well it holds up. It's not as dark as the Necromancer, so I feel like some of the green might not shine through. But then again, after I put the flesh wash on the last batch, the green really didn't shine through either. So I'd probably dry brush it or put some highlights, but I don't usually do that kind of stuff. So here we are. I guess we will start with the man himself. We'll start with Cap. Get this started. Let's get this party started. And of course, it wouldn't be the 4th of July if you weren't drinking American Dew. So we were drinking American Dew. Zero sugar. Zero sugar. One thing so every so often they'll have another zero sugar flavor. When the Orange Baja Blast came out in the stores, they had a zero sugar of that. When the Dirty Dew, which is their cream soda, came out, they had a zero sugar of that. But they keep disappearing. Like, it doesn't show up enough. And I don't know if that's sales demand, so they don't fill up their shelves, or what. But, I feel like not requiring that, to have at least for every 3 rows of regular that you put, you must put at least 1 row of zero sugar, is leading to the country's obesity. I don't believe our founding fathers 250 years ago wanted us to drink sugar all day long. I don't even have my wet palette. Holy cow, I was behind. Yeah, give me a minute. I gotta get my wet palette. That should take a second. Oh, I'm off. All right, let's try that again. Oh, yeah, it's a night. It's a night. So yeah, so I didn't even, not only did I not have my wet palette, I didn't even have my brushes, a cup of water. Like I was only like a third set up. So before we ran out for fireworks, I of course set up, but I didn't set up any of the wet stuff because I just didn't want to set up any of the wet stuff yet. I also had my fan going instead of the standalone fan. We'll see how this goes. So I always have to pull up Cap's shield because I can never remember the color order. Because I want to think that's all I've got left is his shield. Because I've done pretty much all of his red, white, and blue. We'll do a coat on him to take care of dull him down a bit. Something I did on the other ones that I didn't do on stream is I did white pupil the eyes, and then I used a very diluted Mars red to give him the orangish red eyes. So we have that, and then we got the Hydra logo in the background. Yeah, that's it. But I got to pull up his shield because I can never remember the color order for his shield. Let's see here, Marvel. Let's see here. Marvel Zombie. Tons of Marvel Zombies. Unfortunately, none in the Zombicide game. I guess I should put the word Zombicide into the search. There we go. So red, white, red, blue, white. All right. So I got the middle white. I don't know if I'll need to touch that up again. Again, it could be a little dirty because he's a zombie. Oh, did I do his pouches? Yeah, it is pouches. So yeah. I'm confused which Captain America this is because the Captain America in the Heroes Resistance is a hero, not a zombie. Huh. Yeah, a little confused. All right. So red, white, red, blue, white. All right. So blue got hit. So we need red, red, and that wonderful white in the middle. Yay. Yay. All right, let's switch our glasses to our painting glasses. When I get these painted, I'll have enough to do a playthrough. That's the other reason I want to get a couple more zombies painted, either to use in the playthrough to play as. There are hero missions in the X-Men box, but I don't remember if they're all X-Men missions. And I don't think there's hero missions in the Avengers box. I don't remember. All right, so we're starting out with actually Vallejo. So my pure red, my pure blue is Vallejo. Vallejo flat red and Vallejo flat blue. I think that's what I used. I could be completely wrong. I painted these years ago. We don't need a lot of that because I'm not going to use this red on, at least not initially, on the big boy. I think I'm going to use the Mephiston red. I looked up online. You should use a brownish or dark red, and it says people like Mephiston red as a base coat. So we're gonna try to go with that. All right, let's get started. That might have been too much water. Oh, way to get started, Will. Not sure how many coats this is going to take. Probably at least 2, I'm thinking. Which means I have twice as much room for messing up. I had a song stuck in my head. Of course, having a 2-year-old means that you get, you know, see, told you, twice the mess up capabilities. You get songs on the radio through a kids playlist, and they're very catchy, right? Because they're meant for kids to be able to, you know, catch their attention and make them remember them, right? And this is unfortunately a Spanish song, so I can't tell it to you. I mean, it's a Spanish-English. The girls sing in both languages. And it's something about going through a jungle and they run into a crocodile. So it's like, he runs into a crocodile and he goes chomp, chomp. So, dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Very catchy. Fireworks everywhere. I'm giving the groove to the red. It's easier to get a red wash down in there than messing with the white. Actually, it may take more than 2 coats because wherever the white was, the red really popped. And wherever the white was not, it does not pop. It's kind of one of those, not to say hindsight situations, but it's like, should have painted the whole shield red and then done this, so then it was a consistent color. There we go. So yeah, I have to do a little white touch up there. I want the edge to be silver, so I'm gonna have to come across that, I think. Alright, let's get us some white so we can touch that up. That might be good enough because, like I said, once I get the wash, I'm going to kind of dull it down a bit. Do I want it white? I don't remember what white I used. I don't know if it was pure white or not. Maybe dragon white. I don't think it was my linen because I wasn't really using the linen white until recently. I gotta repaint his shoulder too. Red, white, and blue. Yep. Happy 4th to you, David. Red, white, and blue. Happy 4th to you. It rhymes. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Yeah, ironically, I mean, I know you watch it 2 times speed, so you probably heard it, but yeah, it's just it worked out that all the guys I had left over were the red, white, and blue heroes. I had to do some other white touches up anyways. Somebody's not happy about her bath. Not happy about her bath at all. So she doesn't like she's not a fan of the bath anyways, but right now she's not a fan because of it's the rinsing the hair part. Because she's got very curly hair. Me and Audrey have no clue where the curly hair came from because neither side of our family wants to admit that somebody in our family had really curly hair. we're, we're not sure where it came from. But I imagine one of our probably our grandparents or great grandparents must have had curly hair. So it's really hard to wash her hair. So getting the soap in and then getting the soap back out is not fun for her. I tried turning it into like a little game, like it's raining and she's at a swim park and all that, and she kind of was better for a little bit, but now it seems to be going bad again. There we go. I think otherwise I'm not going to mess with any touch-ups. I think everything else should be pretty good with a wash. Make sure I didn't accidentally hit white when I was doing some of the color. Did accidentally hit something on his fingers there. Did pretend like his glove got torn, but I'm not going to do that. And this is a different color red, so now I'm kind of forced to do the whole thing. All right. And we're gonna need another coat of red. So I figured 3. I was thinking 3 once I saw that the darker areas were too dark. trying to keep that smooth is so hard. Like, it just barely goes in one side or the other, and it loses. Even with the little ring. So the hope is that once I put a wash on him, it'll go down in the ring and it'll kind of cause the separation on its own. All right. So we need that edge highlight there. Dang it, I forgot another thing. I'm not going to put a B right back this time. It's dirty. We're going to deal with it. I hadn't had a chance to clean those out. All right, so we do need to dot his eyes. So let's get that done so we can do the highlight later with the orange. That will make that the Mars orange, and that it looks like it's glowing. All right. I'm probably supposed to have done that after I did my other part. Oh well. We gotta do Bucky's arm, so we'll do Bucky's arm around the shield. The Hydra symbol, I don't know if I want it silver or gold or black. Not sure. What is the zombie super storyline? What was the infection? Where did it come from? Who is resistant? Why? So in the original Marvel Zombies story, they don't tell you, right? Basically, it's just the superheroes, and they're infected, but they still have like their intelligence. And then Spider-Man basically realizes that like what they're doing is wrong when he almost eats Aunt May and Mary Jane. So they try to find a way to stop it, but of course the hunger never goes away. And then eventually Galactus comes, and then they start eating the universe. And a couple heroes that were still on Earth, like Black Panther, and then they try to rebuild. So there's been multiple Marvel Zombies comics. I don't know if that's the second or third one. And then eventually they teleport to another Earth. And I think it's Spider-Man that goes through because he's the one that's thinking straight. And he basically sacrifices himself for something. It's been a while since I've read him. I actually read it during the Kickstarter campaign, so that's been how long it's been. He sacrifices himself, but the infection makes its way to Sentry, I think. And then Sentry goes over to the Marvel Zombies universe. And so there was also a crossover between the Fantastic Four of the Ultimate Universe and the Zombie Universe. So they kind of, each comic starts tying all that stuff together to make it one universe. Then they rebooted the whole thing, and the zombie infection didn't affect Peter Parker. He was like one of the ones that wasn't infected. And instead of being a zombie infection, it was actually the Brood. So basically, it was a brood hive mind that mimicked zombieism, right? And so the Brood Mother controlled them all. On that particular timeline, none of the synthetics were zombie form. But there was another story about in the 616, so the normal universe, where Machine Man and somebody else go to the zombie universe, and somehow Vision, I think, in that particular one is actually infected. So the main virus zombie thing, plague, can affect artificial intelligence as well. So it's all over the place. And from what I know is they just rebooted it a third time, because there was a Marvel Zombies comic, I think early this year. They kind of released it, I think, around the same time as the cartoon, new What If cartoon. And in that, same thing. It's the MCU, and a zombie apocalypse breaks out, and I can't even remember how that happened. But it was driven from the What If episode with Scarlet Witch in control. Yeah. Why isn't the Hydra symbol red? Huh. That's a good question. Should the Hydra symbol be red? Most of the time, you're right. It's red. I could make it red. I'm not set on any particular color. I do need to make a tiny star, though. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Actually, on the picture, it's showing it as black. I think red would stand out more. I think you're right, David. All right, and there's a little piece of metal behind his foot. I'll go ahead and make it this color then too. So I don't know if it depends where you are in the world, or where you are in the U.S., but the 250th anniversary felt just like every other 4th of July. Like my city, at least where we went, didn't seem to be doing much more than what they would normally do for a 4th of July. There is a bigger 4th of July, one I looked that we usually go to, but our friends are going to a different one, so we went to that one instead. But even when I looked at like their, I want to call it agenda, but their schedule, didn't seem like it was any more than what they would usually do. Oh, they had a drone show plus fireworks. So yeah, I kind of don't like that silver there. And I kind of don't like that I did the silver on the edge. Should it be red on the edge? No, I think it should be silver. Alright, so before we get to do red again, let's go ahead and paint this. Actually, it's showing it as a piece of metal too. Why not? Let's make it metallic as well. Why not? Yeah, it's got that angled bent thing, like as if it was metal. Get Cap knocked out. Get Doctor Strange knocked out. Spider-Man knocked out because I want to have fun. I want to. I have not painted a big miniature. Like, I don't think I've ever painted anything big. I don't think of everything I've painted. Like, I know I don't have any Marvel United minis this big. A lot of my other games are just like single characters that you control, so I know none of them are big. Yeah, so I have Giant Man. Who else was in this one? Actually, he is the only real big one besides the 3 Sentinels, I think. Sometimes comics get weird, and sometimes they show heroism and tragedy. So some hit and some miss. Trying to get out a big brush. How do you make sure you have enough paint to finish it all in the same color? Just keep going, right? Just got to keep adding that same. I'm not going to do a mixed color. That's the easiest way, is you don't do a mixed color. If I had, what I should have done, and I did it the opposite way. I should have primed him. I have a rust brownish red. I should have primed him in that instead. But I did not. I did not. I did not. All right. Now we need the X-ray specs. Because we need to paint some stars and a Hydra logo. All that jazz. Do that, get a drink. Mountain Dew, it's what's for dinner. All right. Too thin. All right. We have a star. It's actually on the mini, so it's on the bold, so it wasn't too hard. It's just a matter of getting it now. Hydra symbol, on the other hand, this is going to be, basically have to try to just use the side of the brush. So I saw somebody on Instagram saw a painting of a Star-Lord figure. And like the amount of detail on it, I'm like, how? How and how long, right? I'm thinking there's probably no way they did that with the naked eye. And so I saw another painter, Treehand Miniatures, I think it's Treehand Miniatures, something like that. He paints a lot of board game miniatures, and he actually posts them on BGG, which is I think how I found him. He's a smaller painting channel because, of course, if you don't paint Warhammer, you're not going to get views. Because most painting, at least in the painting hobby, miniature painting hobby, is Warhammer, right? Warhammer, people that play Warhammer and tabletop games. That's where most of the competitions lie. But yeah, so he was doing a painting, and what was he painting the last time I saw it? He's painting a CMON mini, so you know it's a small mini like these, and he was getting a bunch of detail in there. I was like, how's he doing that? And then there was a camera shot, which I saw his magnifiers, like it got in the he leaned forward and you could see him. So it's like, okay, yeah, so he's using magnifiers as well. So like if I were to paint the entire mini with these magnifiers, then yeah, I'd probably be able to get every single little detail as well. But it's just hard to do. Hard to do in your live stream. Honestly, it's hard to do even when you're not live streaming, because I'm basically being forced to look through a magnifier, which is not the easiest thing to do in the first place. All right. There it is. It painted it. It looks like a Hydra logo. I mean, I'm looking through the zoomies, and it looks good through the zoomies. That means it'll look good through the tabletop. Just a spot. Did unfortunately hit a spot I didn't want to hit. All right. So, need to do light tone on cap, but I need to do the Nuln Oil, I think, on all of the metal and stuff. Yeah, I'd probably do, probably try a bigger flat brush on him, definitely. All right, so we need, I said Nuln Oil. Yeah, let's do, I don't remember what color I made everybody else's bases. Oh no, I was doing, what was I doing? Was I doing Plague Shader? Horde Shader. Should probably do this one first. Probably get away with Cap just doing the non-oil across the whole thing, because the blue would be fine, all that would be fine. But we're going to try the salt. One thing that did mess, I put the flesh tone on my reds. Yeah, not going to do that again. Because it pulls into like a peachish tan. Wherever it pulled. So like on Deadpool, I had to get rid of it. And paint back over it red. Good to go. And normal oil. There we go. I'll let that dry up and see what happens. Oh, how do I get them off? How do I get them off? I gotta try to get them off without a base. All right, and I'll do Spidey second because again, I want to close the normal world before you start moving things, Will. Because I still have a little bit of attention to detail in my eyes, so might still be able to do his webbing and stuff. Nope. 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 Yes. So my hope is I'll be able to just do the wash and it'll get all of his details, his insets and stuff. But we will see. With Spidey, I'll probably have to go with actual Nolan oil. So I get the black and the recesses for his webbing. So yeah, so that was one thing that people were upset about with the Marvel Zombies game, is that Marvel did not want Peter or Spider-Man to be a zombie anymore. Which again, in the last reboot, he wasn't. I think in the newest reboot, he also, I should say the first reboot. In the newest reboot, I think he was one of the ones that didn't get infected again. But you know, if you're going off the first comic, which this seems like, you know, that's of course what it's going off of, he was really the only, he was the soul, right? He always is. But they're very protective about Spider-Man now and how he is portrayed. That must have been before they cared so much. I can't remember if it was, I can't remember if the first Zombies comic was before or after. How you doing, Greg? Happy 4th. Happy Independence Day. Happy 250th. I was saying earlier, it doesn't feel like it was that monumental. Like I said, it may just be where you are. Now, I know, like, New York City, they were actually doing the ball drop for each time zone. Starting at, like, 10 a.m. this morning or something, which would be Guam. I guess it was Guam time. So they said it was 8 total drops, because I guess our last time zone is the America Samoa, right? Is the last time zone? Whatever time zone that is out there. Because I believe it's past Hawaii, right? America Samoa. I don't know why I did that. I still gotta do this brick. Still gotta do the brick. I'm trying to avoid doing his black, I think. How quick can you wash over a painted section? In terms of, like, doing a wash? Wash is quicker than painting, I guess. Why this white is making bubbles inside of the small gaps. I don't know why it's doing that. I guess it's so thin, it's acting hydrophobic and creating a tension between the two pieces. It's kind of weird. Even when I put the brush in there to pop it, it like comes right back. It's very thick webbing too. Not proportionate to the rest of the mini. So we were hoping Audrey could celebrate her first 4th of July as a citizen, but they have not called us yet, so we do not know when her ceremony is. Kind of annoying. How did he hold me talk about her? Now she's waving at me. Alright, we gotta do these eyes. Now, luckily, the black has to go around this, so I don't get it quite right. Black should fix it. I'm probably gonna have to redo these anyways, a little bit. Once I put the wash on it, the white's just not gonna pop anymore. Going white with the eyes. Yeah, that's what it is in the picture, so we're gonna stick with the art. Guess you could I say technically, way too much, by the way. You could cheat it and make them black. Just, you know. We're not doing that. So again, I'm going to try the wash, see what happens. Hopefully it will fill in everything I need to fill in. All right, now we need so this one-way sign, they did green. But one-way signs aren't green, right? Right, one-way sign? One-way sign, green. We're gonna search one-way sign green. Well, they do make a one-way sign that is green. I don't know if I've ever seen one. Normally it's black with a white arrow, but this is not the black with the white arrow. Huh. Yeah, they did a green, they did the green. All right, so what color is construction worker green? Basically, I don't know what else to call it. A very ugly green. It's kind of a darkish. It's weird. It's like dark but bright, right? That's what it is. You just go with flat green? Yeah. Flat green will probably do it. Sure, one-way signs can be white on a green. Okay. That's what we're going with. Actually, they had the sign pole black. And I did it as metal, so... I think the metal too stands out too much. I'll see once I put the green on it. Oh, where is the marble? Or the ball bearings? I don't hear it at all. Maybe I never put a ball bearing in this one. Alright. Let's get a little bit more green on this lid. Alright. Problem is, I've already lost detail on this. I don't want to say it's from my priming. Could be. I'm thinking I just got into the road molded mini, so the later in the process that a mini comes from, the less detailed the mold becomes. The end of the... I'm gonna have fun painting one way on this. There we go. Alright, while that's drying, good old terracotta red. Now this is again where like an airbrush would come in handy, right, on Giant Man. Because same thing, I could airbrush like a terracotta red on him and then use red over top of that to make my life easier. I do not have an airbrush. I also do not know how I would stream with an airbrush. Would not be able to. I'd have to do all that off camera, I guess. what angle can I reach that at? Saw some fancy battery-powered airbrush. Didn't seem noisy. Yeah, I've seen that too. The biggest thing is, while a short term breathing in the particulates of acrylic paint is not that bad, doing it long term is not recommended. So they recommend a full air booth or some type of air purifying, or to wear a mask. So again, if I were to wear a mask, not the best way to communicate on a paint and chat. Now, if I could do mobile streaming, multi-camera mobile streaming, that would work. Just take a camera out into the garage. Will Way would also be a good street sign. Yeah. Yeah, I know some people do like little customizations and stuff. The irony on that, David, you're not, well, no, you're aware of it now, I think. Is my name on my packages when I send them out? I don't remember. But that's very close to my last name. My last name does start with a W. What is that? Is that more brick? Jiggly Street. Again, if I was that good with lettering, maybe. So I've seen some acrylic pen brushes, and I'm wondering how much more accurate you would be, and whether or not their tip is fine enough for a mini like this. Most of the stuff I've seen where people do well are bigger, more chunky minis that don't have lots of small details or have a lot of like single surface type area going on. So like the chibi minis, they'd probably work really good on those. Like the Starcadia Quest, Arcadia Quest, Marvel United, so forth. I guess we should make these like bricks that have fallen off. Try to piece it all together. It's a bit strong, but need to handle small things like lettering. Yeah. So there's also, like, again, they make a fine liner for like black. They could always use for like really delicate black work. It's just like I've tried to use that before and it doesn't really work well, or at least not the Sharpie fine liner, because it seems like it doesn't have enough oomph to um, like the ink doesn't seem to come out. I don't know why. Sharpie fine tip Sharpies always seem to be dried out. I guess is for lack of a better word. It just they don't ever seem to work. No matter how many I've bought, how many packs I get of them, it never seems like they work. Because that's like a secret a lot of people do for eyes now, like or they say they do for eyes. But I don't know if they're necessarily using a Sharpie versus an actual expensive fine liner. So I'm thinking the expensive fine liner probably has a better, whatever material they use to make the tip, which probably holds paint slightly better, which means that it stays wet longer, so it's not drying out. Yeah, that's all speculation. No clue. Oh, that's fun. There's a tiny webbing. There we go. I think I got it. Maybe. All right. Now the fun part. See if I can write one way. Yeah, I don't know if I want to keep that silver because it's just next to the white. It just seems too close. Although if I put a Nolan oil, that might wash it down. I guess we'll Nolan oil it and let's see. All right. So, and I also got red on his pants. So I have to touch that up. Here we go. All right. Where are my glasses? Where are they? And on the brick, I do need to dry brush some like cream or tan. Yeah, we get to do it again. Alright. Second coat on here, and I think we will call it. Whew. Got a tinier brush. No, that's my tiniest brush. Oh man. And again, if this was any other mini, than a Marvel mini, I would not have put that much effort into that. As we will see, maybe, possibly, on the Zombicide, like, modern, because one of the guys he's a sign holder, and I'm like debating if I'm actually going to paint those, because each runner and each walker and each is a completely different style, like different look, which means I got tons of colors, tons of you don't want them all looking the same because they're supposed to be real people. So I'm debating to do what somebody else on the Discord, and I've seen it somewhere else. What they did was they just basically painted all of them like a dry brush. Got any DC United? Yeah, we got the DC Hush box. Right? Yeah. I did that playthrough. I did the playthrough of the DC Hush box, right? Blanco. All right. So we need to do a little dry brushing on the brick. I'm not going to need a lot of this. Less of a dry brush and more of a dry rub. There you go. That tones down that brick red. Obviously forgot lots of things. We always forget more than we probably ever learned in the first place. But yeah, so far only Hush is the only box that's been released. Now I have pre-ordered, I've got the whole thing on Kickstarter. So again, anybody wants to see any CMON product fulfill and hopefully come back, please buy their retail products. But yeah, so there's a pre-order up for the retail box. Now there were supposed to be 2 retail boxes, but I've only seen the retail core up for pre-order on Miniature Market, so I've currently got that on pre-order. All right, so black. I'm gonna have to put the X-ray specs back on. Does he have a spider on the back too? Yes, that is supposed to be red. Otherwise, I wouldn't have painted that red. I'll need more black later. I don't need much black now. Alright, so I gotta do his eyes. Silver dry brush the webs. Yeah, the webs, because now the white on the white. What I'll probably do is drop it down to maybe to an off-white. In the picture, they're more of an off-white. I'm wondering if off-white's too yellow. And I don't have... really don't have a white and gray. But you're saying like, oh, the pearl to make it look sticky. Oh, yeah, that would work too. I still think they're too thick. I think that's the biggest problem with them. They're just too thick. So they wanted to keep them, and they're just too thick in my opinion. All right. Fireworks still going off. Florida is a firework state. It allows fireworks. So when we were done our stream last night, we were still hearing them, even after we went to bed. Now I'm still hearing them at night, and I'll still hear them for the next week. So basically, from Memorial Day on, it's non-stop fireworks tonight. Get a little break, and it comes back for comes back. Leave the wash off the webs to make them pop. Oh yeah, that would work too. But yeah, so like then it comes back in Christmas and New Year's, so it starts all over again. A lot of holding of breath. You have to have some red touch up and some white touch-up, which was to be expected. I mean, this was probably the same as Captain America. I don't think this was the red I used. No, I need the darker red. That's alright, it's like highlights around his eyes. A lot of blue touch-up. Yeah, unfortunately, because I did such a dark red, the black really doesn't pop. Sucks. Let's fix these whites. There he goes. Alright, this is blue. Hopefully this is the right blue. Who knows? Who knows? So that's one. I saw somebody made an Instagram post. And he's like, 5 things they wish they knew before, when they first started painting. Wet palette was one, and there's a couple other things. But like the one thing that like stood out to me was like a journal. Like, I painted this many. Those are the colors. For me, I don't think about a journal because I'm not painting like an army where I need to paint tons of them and make them all, similar in color and theme. And normally I'm not finishing a mini years later, which is what's happening right here. So I don't have to worry about remembering what colors I used. This is a rare instance of time getting away from me. There we go. All right. He is done, so now we just gotta wash him. So on the red, I'm gonna wash with the Nolan oil. I guess the black too. Let's see. Here's Cap. See, Cap with the soft tone, it kind of just makes him look dirty, which is fine for the zombie. And the Nolan oil kind of made that look dirty too. Yeah. Nolan oil. I don't want Nolan oil for his base, though. I don't think I did. Just wash the base only. Well, I want to do the red because I want it to go down into the recesses. So that way it shows the webbing. I mean, I can tell it's webbing, but I kind of can't tell it's webbing. And there's no way I'm painting all of that webbing on him. Now, again, I've seen other mini painters, they don't paint his webbing, they primed him black. So then all they did was they painted each one of the little squares. So then therefore the black stayed. Let's start with the base. See what happens. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see what happens. I may be dotting a lot of red. I may be dotting lots and lots of red. trying to stay away from his eyes so I don't have to do those over. Now I gotta make sure it's off the upper edges and only down in the recesses. Not sure if that made a big enough difference. I have to wait till it dries and settles. So we will see. Said I may be re-reading that a little bit. All right. To the doctor. Doctor. Tell me the news. All right. We need green tentacles. I haven't done any of his yellow or gold. Oh, and he's got a wonderful symbol on his thing. Actually, I didn't do his pants or... I mean, I did almost nothing on Doctor Strange. Alright, let's do his tentacles, though, first. I feel like painting tentacles. No, it's got too much blue. And we thought we were done with tentacles with Invader. They just will not leave us alone. I've got a bad case of painting you. David always there to help me finish my lyrics. Or come up with lyrics that I wasn't even saying. Some of these bases are like just the different types of details and the different ways they made them is just cool, interesting, neat. I don't know what I'm thinking of. And some are more unique and cooler than others. Not saying his is cool or unique. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking of the Mysterio, Zombie Mysterio. That one's actually one of the cooler bases. It's basically a hand that's holding him. That's made out of, like, you know, Mysterio smoke. Alright, now to hit the green spots that are just in weird areas. That can still be seen. There's another one. Cannot remember what the Doctor Strange zombie version looks like now off the top of my head. Imagine it's some kind of portal with like hands and stuff coming out. That seems the most thematic, accurate. Same with like Scarlet Witch. I can't remember what her zombie looks like. Okay. I made his hands flesh tone, and they are not flesh tone. He has gloves. So we are going to go with not yellow. We're going to go with more of them. More of an olive drab. Let's go with pale yellow. Yeah. Debating that and the ochre. I think ochre will be too dark. Now, I was thinking what I should do is I should paint the Marvel United and the Marvel Zombie characters at the same time. Because I've seen somebody do that, because you're going to be painting green for Hulk, so just go ahead and paint all your Hulks. Right? You got that color out. One thing with that is I will get a lot less painted that way. Well, not a lot less painted. I'll get more. I'll get more painted. I'll get overall, but same amount probably painted. I mean, I get a lot less of a single game, which I would need multiple minis within a single game to be able to use those minis in a gameplay. So basically, if I need to paint, say, 4 Marvel United minis in a single stream, I can get 4 Marvel United minis done. If I'm splitting it between 2, if not 3, of the same character, right, because we have a zombie version, then I'm probably only getting 1 character done 3 or 4 times. Alright, and let's go ahead and paint this while we're at it. Let's go with a bigger brush. Actually, before we do a bigger brush, let's do the yellow on his cloak. I'm going to do it gold anyways, but I'm going to start with yellow. This doesn't need to be perfect because I'm going to go back over with the gold, but cleaner it is, the less, if I don't hit something with gold, it'll look better. Well, I missed there. Whack that a couple times. Is the top part? I can't tell if the top part of the cloud has it or if it's just like highlight. I think it's just a highlight. Right. Alright. We need leather brown. Another brown, dear sir. Also still need to do his beard. Dirt? Nope. Leather. Yep. Oh yeah, I gotta do the window. Just wanted a bigger brush. There we go. Hope is that stands out enough from the gold, because in the picture it's a slightly darker color. And we will see. Thinking an hour to get through these 3, but it's taking me almost 2 hours. And I'm not done yet. Like, I was optimistic I'd be able to do more minis. Well, not necessarily I'd do 4, but probably at least 2 more. But I'm thinking he's going to take the rest of the time. Again, it's fine. I think it'd be fun to play Giant Man. These boots were made for floating. That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots will float right over you. right. Here is the question. Or is pants gray or purple? I don't know. Gray. Yeah, gray for the most part. Sometimes they're blue. I'm going to go with sombre gray, I think. Oh, sombre gray. It's kind of a grayish blue. Might be lighter than I wanted. It's almost the color. I forgot this is almost the color of my primer. I think I've used this as a touch-up before. On my primer. That should be fun. Alright. Symbol on his chest is not cool. Well, it's more bright white on there than it is there. Guess we're rolling with white. Kind of a weird shape. Because the way his shirt is, like the folds are like right in the middle of it. It's not quite right. It doesn't feel right. Oh well. I'm gonna call it that. What was the Eye of Agamotto? Is it green or is it blue? I never remember. Alright, let's do your beard and mustache. Yeah, to get the white in his temples. It's not Doctor Strange without the white in the temples. Called it the Clooney. They should have called it the Doctor Strange. He had the look way before. All right. I wasn't going to do his eyebrows, but I feel like that's part of his character. One's a little bit too big. Well. All right. So. Gold. Tentacle touch up. And that's what I got. So gold. Yeah, figuring out what the Eye of Agamotto's color is. Well, actually, in the newer ones, it's not really a color. It's just shiny gold. So this is actually from this, I don't know what era this is. It's got the legacy numbering, so it's a more recent one, but that's got that little symbol on his chest. Kind of. Well, I guess he's always had that symbol on his chest. In some manner or another. Well, I guess it's not the Eye of Agamotto. That's in the MCU. In comics, it's just a class. So yeah, it's just going to be gold. Okay, doesn't need to be color. All right, good to go. Got some paint on my thumbnail. All right, so we got the gold and wash, I guess. Sure. All right, there we go. Bright gold. Might need to go darker in the window. Or maybe I'd just do probably a brown or the umber wash, maybe. Right. Shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Question is, what color do I wash all of this? Let me get Spidey. See how the Nolan oil looks. Oh, Spidey's way too dark now. Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm gonna have to go back over the red on Spidey. He's just way too dark now. What did I do on everybody else? I think I did flesh tones. Flesh tone didn't go well over top of the red, so I need to do red on the red. I can probably get away with that one for the base, so let's do that. Let's just try a soft tone. Nowhere except for his cloak. I can do his cloak. red wash. Yeah, flesh wash left too much of a stain. I'm gonna try actual red wash, see what happens. Yeah, I think I went too dark on all of my colors. I don't know why. Like looking at the art, it's a bright red. Tentacles got a little bit duller than I wanted them to. I gotta brighten it back up a little bit. Not sure the red wash did anything, but oh well. Right. So back to Spidey. Two and a half hours for 3 minutes. That's almost an hour a mini, and these were already painted. That's crazy. But I guess the majority of the time is the details when it takes an hour per mini. All right, Spidey. I should just try to dry brush him. Need a small dry brush. How much did that brighten him up? I'm not even sure if it brightened him up at all. It doesn't look like it did, so I'm kind of... I don't know what to do. Yeah, I imagine he's brighter than he was. He's got to be. So, I mean, I see paint on the white, so it means it made it into the eyes. All right. Do the eyes again. Much better. And again, could be the lighting. Not much I can do about it. And that's what we see when we play anyways. Right. Alright, how much can I get done in and out? One giant man. My eyes are starting to give out on me. Seeing the Doctor Strange tentacles, even after I put another coat, they just still seem too dark. I probably should have gone with a different green. And Bella barks. But give me 1 minute, I will be right back. All right. So the question is, can I even put him on? I don't think I can even put him really on the base. He'll just keep falling off. Yeah. So I got to hold him. So the recommendation was use the Mephiston Red. So I guess that's what we will do. Again, still not happy with Doctor Strange tentacles. I will evaluate them in the morning. But yeah, he's basically just red, blue. This is not like what's on the hair. He's standing on top of a dumpster. Fire hydrant, tire. No clue. No clue. A sewer grate. Yeah. Probably gonna have to definitely look up something online. Because like there's just some parts of this I'm not sure what it is. Alright, we're going with, I mean, technically, I guess I could just use a big basing brush. I don't know how smooth that'll come out. I don't know if a flat brush would be better. Like this. Let's see. Not sure about this earmuff thing. This is the Citadel Mephiston Red, which now I don't think it's called Citadel. I think it's... They rebranded. What is it? Warhammer paints now? Or Games Workshop paints, maybe? Maybe they just call it Games Workshop? Again, that rebranding makes no sense. I get name recognition, but like... People that need to know or want to know Know that Citadel is Games Workshop, so it's kind of a rebranding that doesn't make sense. Brainchild of somebody, and somebody's like, I need to prove that I'm worth money, so we're gonna just change our branding. Now here's the question. Can you paint a bigature or bigger mini in 1 hour? That's what we're trying to do. Normally my normal acrylic painting takes about an hour. So, imagine this one, because the details are much easier to get to. Shouldn't be unreasonable expectation. Just figuring out where everything is. Do I want to make this brighter? Am I fine with this color red? Here's a zombie one, so it's not a bad looking red. Question is, am I going to need 2 coats? Because it doesn't look, it looks like there's spots that it's not fully covering. So then it's like, okay, do I go up to the red on top of this? This is supposed to be like a good base coat. Still not sure. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need 2 coats. In some of these spots, I can't tell, okay, is it a gap? Is it clothing? Is it a wrinkle? Is it a hole? It's like down here, it seems like there were some, like maybe some holes in the fabric there, but too hard to discern. Like right here, there was a hole in the fabric, but paint already went down in it. paint pots. Can't say I've never painted a big mini, but it's like I can't say that I like this or this is any easier than a smaller one, because like what's happening is I don't want to hit where I primed the necromantic color. Again, this isn't Necromantic Flesh by Army Painter. It's a little bit lighter, but same difference. If I do hit it, I currently do not have any way to touch it up. I mean, kind of. I mean, I could just use, again, Necromantic Flesh to cover it up. I mentioned earlier, in hindsight, I probably should have just primed them in I have a rust red. Then I would have just been able to base coat the red. And then base coat the Necromantic Flesh instead. But I did not. Yeah. So here would be the thing that, people who want to improve their painting would do, is they would paint this and then try to use like actual new techniques. Since it's a bigger mini, right? All the details are bigger and everything. It would be easier to try to do the highlights and the details and everything because you can pick them out a little bit easier. I'm not one of those people. All right. At least get down these crevices pretty good because I want to do the blue next. I'm not going to be able to do it later. Tell me the weird flaps are on his ears. Again, the art doesn't quite match. Similarly, I don't know what color his belt would be. And he doesn't have a car door in the art. Sometimes I wonder why they switch it up so much from the art. Weird. Alright, so here's actually the question. Should I just go ahead and second coat it? Probably. Now that I have a first coat, the second coat's more or less just brushing over everything again. Don't have to worry about the intricate details anymore. Just get the edges and the highlights and the tops. Alright. Any glaring spots, I guess, is what we're looking at for now. That's going to be fun to clean. That's got a lot of red in it. Alright, so I need something slightly smaller for the face. Why I grabbed this brush, I have no idea. Alright, let's get some blue on them. Definitely not going to get them done tonight, though. It's disappointing. I don't know when I'm going to paint again, because my sisters are supposed to come in town next weekend, which means no painting next weekend. Week after that, probably me and Audrey will play a game again, because yeah, we got 2 games going. Question is, how much of this red is still going to come out of this brush? It could have been bad. It was just a dumpster. One boot down. Well, now compared to the Mephisto Red, this is a lot brighter. Versus if I just used, I think, like red. This is the just true blue, the regular blue. Nothing special about it blue from Vallejo. Completely missed there. Completely missed that, Will. I don't know why I'm worried about getting down in that little spot. Some kind of whatever wash I put on there is gonna take care of it. All right, let's get some gloves. Alright. That's all my blue. Alright, so definitely not going to get him done tonight. Nowhere near that. So let's go ahead and get our base rings for the 3 we did. And the question is, how much blue am I going to get? It'll be purple when it comes out. It'll be blue and the red. Alright. I have to look at these in the daylight because I think I want them brighter than that. I think I want them more green, so I'll probably have to up it to. I don't know if I want them that green. Yeah, that's Scorpy green. So that's Vallejo Scorpy green. Or I may go up to just a touch would be Vallejo Goblin green. Base room. Yeah, it's too small. I've been using for base room. Problem is I don't want to make another brush dirty. That's what I've been using. Uno. Don't fall, Spidey. Spidey and Cap. Of course, I'm going to mess up on the back. Nope. All right. And as usual, I put way too much black paint on my palette. Used almost all of the Mephisto that I put on the palette, so that was actually good, but the blue, unfortunately, I did put too much of that as well. His wash made that a little bit too dark. At least not as much too dark, but it made it brown instead of white. So touch that up. That's better. Much better. Yeah, it's fine. All right. Get a little bit of white pop back out again. All right, so what brushes did I use? I use these brushes. I use that one too. That was dry brushing. All right, good. Wash all those. All right, so did not get the big boy done, but got the major, I say the major base coating, but I mean, I got the black, which take a little bit more time. Gotta figure out what color I want to make the car door. All the skin is just going to get a wash, and then got to figure out this tire grate. Again, whatever this thing is. So I definitely have to look up. It looks like it's some kind of vehicle, because like it's like an engine. And this looks like a handlebar. So not sure. Maybe the control rod for like one of the ant things he does. Yeah, that's the big boy. For reference, oops. That's your size difference. So that's a significant difference in size when it comes to painting these guys. There we go. There is Spidey. And I really dislike when they do this with a sculpt, where they make one eye significantly smaller than the other, because then you end up with, like, it looks goofy to me, and I don't know how to solve that. Like, if I put a little bit more white, like something's missing in this eye. Compared to this one. Rarely when you're looking at it from the front, like he's kind of squinting in one eye. So there's been other minis that are like that where they give it a facial expression and then they put the facial expression on the mini and it just looks odd because it's not symmetrical. Yeah. So that is Mr. Man Spider, if you please. A little one-way street. Proud of my little one-way street. I did not do his webbing. I did a wash, which then made him too dark, and then I brightened him up. Still not sure if he's as bright as I'd want him to be. Then we have Mr. Strange, Doctor, if you please. Same thing. I'm not sure if I like his tentacles that dark. Again, I'll have to see it in regular light, not filming light. We got Zombie Cap. The only thing I can do, I gotta do his eyes still. Make them glow. That's it. A wonderful Hydra symbol on the back there. That's that. That is it. That is our streaming day, or streaming painting session streaming day. Yeah. There we go, guys. That is Marvel Zombies. Or at least the Marvel Zombies we're painting this evening. If you want to see this playthrough, I doubt anybody's made it this far. I do these outros, and I doubt anybody's made this far. If you've made it this far, down below, I am here, just so I know, in the comments. But yeah, we will eventually be playing this on the channel, or I will. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, that way you know when I go live. If you want to come out and join any of these future chat sessions, same thing, hit the remind me on the chats. You can come out and chat. If it slows down my painting, it slows down my painting. Earlier we were talking about the Marvel Zombie comics, and I couldn't remember as much as I thought I remembered, but I remembered probably more than I should. Oh man, I'll tell you what I'm doing next week, but I don't know what I'm doing next week. I will schedule those streams. So with that said, guys, till next time. Peace.